So we ended up with the discovery that this goblin is apparently a paladin. At least, so the paladin says.
It's just a goblin. What Maurice sees.
Your new paladin friend. I say friend very lightly.
She'll be a friend by the end of the night.
Is seems to feel that this goblin is a paladin.
May I intervene? Is it perhaps that we are sensing my guidance that I bestowed upon the creature?
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It probably has, but...
Yeah, because it takes 10 minutes for me to cast Identify.
Right.
Yeah. He has been speaking about this lady who has come to his dreams. Perhaps this is some sort of vision from a lesser deity or some sort of lesser power. I'm not sure how this works exactly, but...
Judging by the markings on the building, there's definitely more play than possibly a lesser deity. But we won't know until we go in there.
We could leave the creature tied up out here while we go in and investigate.
He's sitting there like...
Is there a post to tie the leech to?
There's probably like a fence post sign nearby.
But
But the goblin very adamantly is like, no, me go aside. Herdy lady say me go aside.
I look towards the paladin. Well, I did give you my word. What is your verdict on what we do with the goblin?
She's looking at you and just looking at the goblin. Just, I say we kill him on the spot. And he just sitting there like.
No, maybe if we gag him so that he cannot call out, we could maybe let him go forth. That way he triggers any traps or warns us about any traps before we step on them.
do we have some sort of like old cloth or
Well,
something you can gag a goblin with?
I've got this gag. No, I'm just joking.
Just
We-
unzip your pants.
Someone just like
God.
touches your head, just like, not that one, so bliss. It just like pushes it away.
Stop. We could just make the rope go around his head, perhaps.
I think
Yeah, if there was enough
much
there
of it
for
this
it,
year.
there should be enough there for that.
Yeah, I have 50 feet, so
I think maybe
The goblin's just like,
better off letting.
Herdy lady no say me need talk. Me just go aside.
Right,
What?
we take him inside.
Looks like you have willing bait at least. Ties him up.
yeah, just kind of like take the leash part and kind of take some of the length and wrap it around his head and kind of make it to where there's itch in his mouth and like doesn't come off.
You know what? This kind of reminds me of a story.
The paladin Eva is looking at you guys and just like kind of fuming. Like she's really upset. And she just kind of is muttering to herself and just begins just stomping her way inside the house.
Would you? What you're going to?
Follow.
Just let it go.
Would it be terrible if she sprung the traps for us?
I guess not.
Investigation check. I'd like to keep an eye out for anything suspicious.
Yeah, I guess we follow behind and yeah.
I mean, I got to pass a wisdom of 20, so.
Wait. So you guys not only have this goblin bound up, but also with a gag on him and a leash.
Yes.
Yes.
Shut up.
Yeah.
up.
Someone's gimping right now, right?
I'm just
okay,
listen.
I
I didn't
hand
say
the
it.
rope off to
okay?
Papatkin.
I didn't say it. I was just pointing out what you guys are doing. That's all.
Listen, I have no part in this. I do not.
I have flashbacks to true crime streets of LA.
I'm having flashbacks to Pulp Fiction.
Same here.
Oh, no, not that scene. You had to remind me. You alright, man? Do I look alright to you?
Nah, man. I'm pretty far from okay.
All right.
I love that bloody movie.
Far from okay. Anyway, that's the second time that we've referenced.
That's the second time that's come up. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're doing it every
That,
session.
That says a lot about our
So
group. Okay, cool.
At this point, I'm holding the gimp by the leash, and am I instructing it to hunt?
Just here comes our package, just calling it like it is.
I mean, he now has the title of GG Gimp Goblin. Oh no.
Okay.
I could slightly burn them, you know.
I wonder
That's
where
the
he
title.
gets his
That's, by
name.
the way, that's their YouTube title. By the way,
Brian,
I wonder where he gets
I
his,
know you're
nickname.
Brian, I know you're relatively new to D&D. I just want you to know that this is actually pretty normal for how a D&D game goes. Just saying.
Fantastic. Well, then I found myself in the right place.
God damn it.
He
Oh,
says that
wonder
because
where
he's a
he
man
got
of
his
culture as he
nickname,
drinks his coffee.
He's got his name twice best.
Right.
Wonder where he got that from.
So,
Anyway,
Only one way to find out.
all right, so Paladin Aoife heads into the house, and you guys follow behind her. The goblin is also following kind of in front of you guys, behind her.
yes.
And he's still all like bound up and everything, right? So
Yeah.
if he trips something, it's just gonna be end game, and game over.
He just trips on a claymore.
Fucking goblin guts all over her patch.
Pretty sure if it's Claymore, we all be dead, and the entire block.
Nah,
So
if
anyway.
I learn anything from Metal Gear, it only takes out your legs.
God damn it, stop it.
I'm talking about the Claymores I've seen in freaking real life. Those things will take out a city block.
Oh yeah, those.
Okay, so you guys are heading inside the house. The house is like, it's musty, it's old. There's definitely like a smell of like mold and just general unpleasantness inside the house. You're also smelling like there's probably a vague scent of like excrement. Abandoned houses like this are pretty common for people to squat in. So
Is it dark in here? Do I need a lot
it's
of
very,
torch?
it's mostly dark. There's
Alright.
there's like shafts of sunlight that are poking in from where the windows are and things like that. But you can see like there's only like one main room and what looks like a kind of a room off to the back and around the corner, and maybe like a closet or something area, and then maybe like a small drawing room or a fireplace room kind of off to the side. But the most of it is like held off in one major room that takes probably like 70% of the entire house. It's kind of like a kitchen, hearth, and like a sitting room all at one.
Alright, like if I need it. I know a couple of us humans need it.
Okay,
Thank you.
Take off as well.
Virgo needs it.
you just kind of hear
I can
you just kind of hear the paladin in front of you guys just go, I can't see a damn. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, what are we looking for?
Basement.
I guess check under any furniture if there is any, rooms, fireplace, that sort of thing.
Under the stairs.
Goblin's just kind of like walking around, like looking around the place. Oh, me light.
Oh,
So we
it
said
would
that
be
there was.
investigation.
Is the goblin like pulling in any direction? I'm holding.
Not really.
Is
He seems to actually just kind of be like taking the place in, kind of
Well,
like
we said
sniffing, nodding, looking around approvingly. He's like literally every person that walks into a realtor's open house and doesn't know a goddamn thing and just says, "Oh yeah, this looks really good."
I give him a gentle nudge in the back and be like, "Keep on going, Governor. This is not our destination."
you said that there's the basement, right?
Goblin, what part of this house do you like the best?
He kind of turns. Me no goblin. Me twice best. Me earn name.
Twice best. Twice best. What part of this house do you like the best?
That is twice the best.
He kind of like flares his nostrils like comically wide and just goes, "Smell like home."
It smells
So
like
what part is
piss.
the best part of the home?
He kind of like looks around a little bit, and you hear from like one of the rooms to the whatever the bedroom is toward the back. You hear like something fall over. It just sounds like something heavy, like maybe a piece of furniture or something falls over, and then you just hear like the paladin's voice from the back, just, "What damnable!" And you just like, everybody just kind of stops, and he just kind of looks at you, and goes, "Where she no is." He just kind of looks at you like,
Goblin, you said that this was in a basement, right?
I'll just head to the bedroom and check out what's going on.
Yeah, same here.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on in here?
he said, "Yeah, yeah." He
So
just
we
kind of like
check
looks at the ground and goes, "Down."
Do I see anything that might be covering up like a hidden hatch or a way down to the basement or anything in the room?
Give me a perception check.
Maurice also was checking for traps. Should he?
Well, I was looking around, but yeah, sure.
19.
Never
9.
mind.
Maurice, your eyes are like still trying to adjust to the light that you set up to the torch. So you're trying to like kind of adjust where it is, but like, oh, it's really bright.
Am I having a reverse Sabal moment?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Um, Treya, for your perception check, you kind of look around, and you see the hearth toward the back of the house. It's set up with almost like the fireplace in the center, and there's almost like a fire pit, and then a makeshift like iron stand that's set up to hold a cauldron over the fire pit, right? And the fire pit's pretty decent size. It's like a 3 foot by 3 foot, so it's big enough to hold a decent bit of fire and a decent sized cauldron over it, where you basically let a stew kind of simmer all day and keep the fire going. That way it's not only heating the house, heating whoever's around it, but also you can keep the stew going and keep it at a good temperature, and basically just keep the stew going all week, so it doesn't need to be refrigerated or anything, because obviously it doesn't exist. So, but you can see that where the fire pit is, it looks as if, like, toward the outside, there's like charred remains of like small pieces of wood, of like chopped wood, and then toward the center, there's like nothing but ash and dust, except that it looks as if there's like not much at all. Maybe some of it was blown away or something, but something seems out of place there, and you're not sure what.
I walk over to it and I lean down, and where all the ashes and everything, I'm going to use prestidigitation to kind of clean it away to see what might be underneath everywhere.
As you like lean down, you first feel it. There's a little bit of air kind of wafting up from beneath where the fire pit is. And as you prestidigitate that area, you actually notice that there's what looks like a really small piece of metal kind of stuck underneath. And as the prestidigitation kind of cleans this small area away, you realize it's actually like a metal ring. And where the metal ring is sitting, it's like one of these like bolts that holds it onto whatever's beneath it is missing, and there's literally just like a small hole, probably like the size of your pinky, that just goes straight through the floor, and you can see that there's a little bit of light down there.
I look back, is Sublis and all y'all still in the room, or did y'all leave to where the paladin is?
I imagine everybody's probably spread out a little bit trying to look for whatever is going on, but Paladin's the only one that's like out of sight in another room.
Yeah, I remained in the main room.
I'm heading check on the paladin.
I look over to Sublis. Hey, looks like I found something over here. Come check this out. as I pull up onto the hatch to see what might be, if it gives or anything like that.
Kind of kneel next to her and like
Okay.
help if that's possible.
Sure. You're giving a helping action. So Trey, go ahead and give me a strength check with advantage. Fergal, as you enter the room with the paladin over there, you notice that she's like rubbing one side of her head, and it looks as if like one of the bookcases or something that was there kind of like collapsed a little bit and basically just like fell over toward her. She managed to catch it, but very obviously like it hit part of her head on one side.
You right there?
She just kind of like looks at you, just fine.
All right.
Did they find anything?
I think they were looking.
Okay.
Hey guys, you find anything?
I called back. Yeah, it looks like we found a hatch.
Hey.
So
Yeah,
as
that's
you
pretty
like
good.
grab onto this ring and just yank on it out, you actually see that you hear like a crack as the ring pulls off the like latch or like iron latch that's bolted to. It seems to be bolted to actually like pieces of wood or something on the ground. And as it pulls away, it like rips these floorboards away, and it looks as if it was maybe about like a 4 foot by 4 foot hatch leading down to the ground or leading down to the area below. But as you pulled this away, like 2 floorboards came with the ring that you pulled. A few others like broke in half and fell down below, and the rest of it basically just stayed there. So this is now turned from a 4 foot by 4 foot hatch to like a 2 foot by 4 foot hatch.
Not bad for a little noble and a cleric, huh?
I suppose so.
Yeah, the paladin immediately like pokes her head around the corner. What was that?
That's doing your job, Paladin.
We have found a hatch that perhaps leads down to the basement.
She frowns, comes over, and looks down, and kicks it a few times with her boot, as a few more of the boards kind of like fall away. And there's probably only like one more board left, just like whatever the horizontal board is attached to the actual like latches on that side.
Yeah, I take my mace out and I kind of just like knock it off. And
Yeah,
I
you
keep
just
my
give it
mace
like a
out,
few good
I
like
keep it ready.
good hard taps, almost like a hammer, and it just like it just kind of like the latch just kind of like bends a little bit the wrong way, and it just kind of like breaks off and falls down. And you can see down below that there's a pretty shoddy looking ladder of basically just like large branches of wood that have been kind of like strung together by leather thongs or by some sort of cloth or something like that. You're not really entirely sure, but it definitely looks like it was not professionally done.
I do not trust that ladder.
Yeah, it definitely does not look like it would support someone that is unusually large or unusually heavy.
I'm wearing my armor at this moment, so I do not feel comfortable. Do we have any more rope, perhaps?
I have some.
And
Yeah,
certainly
I
anybody
have-
who's wearing like anything heavier than light armor, or who's anything larger than like a standard human, might look at this and be like, I don't know if that will support me.
I can go down first. Make sure there's someone at the bottom in case someone falls.
I'll go down with you, Maurice.
All right.
Yeah, perhaps myself and the paladin, Aoife, is that her name? Yeah, Aoife, could hold the rope up here, and the rest of you go
Yeah,
down.
I'll hand you my rope. So
Yeah.
hook rope, and I'll go down.
See the bookcase that fell. Was there anything interesting on it?
What's that?
Was there anything interesting on it that fell?
Nope.
Like any book?
It looks like just untreated wood, probably mostly like moldy. It looks like any kind of pressure on it probably would have collapsed like the bottom shelves and caused it to like fall over or something like that. The wood probably isn't even salvageable.
I'd probably head back.
Let's do this one at a time.
So,
The paladin Just she. Well, I suppose that ladder doesn't look like it'll hold me, and I'm not taking my armor off.
That is a good idea.
Hurry.
So you and I hold this rope while they go down, and then we follow.
She kind of grudgingly agrees. Just said, "That seems like the best course of action."
Make sure y'all find that anchor point up above in case we need to climb out.
That is a good idea, actually. But
Y'all
first,
take the ladder down.
yeah.
All right, I'll climb down using the ladder that's there.
She begins
I'll follow
latching
right behind
the rope onto her sword, and then just slams the point end of her sword down into the ground as almost like an anchor.
That never works.
I'll be back in a moment.
Sure, no problem.
Soblis starts T-posing menacingly.
He's legit gonna miss the best part.
All right, climbing down.
So who's climbing down?
Me.
And Trail.
I think Virgil.
I'll climb
I'm
down.
gonna wait till the big people fall for us.
Yeah, just quick show of hands. Who's going down?
Me after I cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
Hey.
Trey, I
Vocal
can't
wave hand.
see your hand.
Waving hand. You jackass. I will draw you a hand. I'm just gonna post a chat.
Sorry, I had to get at least one in on you. So basically everybody else is going down, right? I mean, Fergal is probably in the safest position at this point. There's no way that the ladder is going to break under his weight. Unless Fergal
Wait,
is
are we
unusually...
really all going down on the weak ass ladder?
I'm going down on the weekend ladder.
I mean, unless you're
I mean,
gonna
maybe-
unless you guys are gonna untie the goblin, you're gonna have to lower him down. But I mean,
we
like
just,
all
like,
you
kick
guys
him
are in the
down?
house. I don't really think he's gonna be a flight risk.
Hey, they can deal with the goblin. They
He's
brought
the
him
one.
in.
I'm just saying, the goblin's probably not gonna leave anywhere. He's the one who wants to be here the most.
Yeah, I'd probably cut him free. And say, we're taking him down here with us. If he tries anything, he's dead.
He quickly jumps onto the ladder. You go, me go first, as he just starts shimmying down the ladder as fast as possible.
You little. Okay.
I'll
Gosh.
jump.
He hops-
I'll jump down the.
He hops off the last few rungs, and you can see there's a bunch of soot that has fallen down in there, probably just over a long period of use. And so when he hits the ground with his feet, there's a puff of poof, as a little bit of soot just kind of goes up, probably a good foot or so above the ground.
All right, I'm down next. Having to put out my torch. Great.
And then I'll be right behind him.
Okay. You can see that below it is dimly lit. And there's definitely the telltale signs of a flicker from candles or torch or sconce or something, right? But it's definitely lit by some sort of source of fire rather than magical or anything else.
Do I hear anything further down? Is it like a little corridor that goes further down after we get to the bottom? Or is it like a large room?
It's when you guys hit the ground, it looks like it's almost like it's dug or man-made, just not very well. It probably goes down roughly about 10 feet, and then you can see it's a small corridor that's probably no more than 5-ish feet tall, and just wide enough for shoulder width on an average human. So again, Fergal's not gonna have anywhere near a problem, but any of you guys who are over 5 feet are probably gonna have to hunch down a bit and kind of this is really uncomfortable and tight and cramped.
Yeah, I'm not.
And you can see that it's a small corridor that kind of goes up and then makes a slight rounded turn and then hits a wall and just goes directly off to one side.
Okay. I'll wait till a few warriors get down, but
It was supposed to be a straight hallway, but obviously the digging just didn't go correctly and it was kind of started to kind of meander off to one side.
Yeah. Makeshift flame in my hand.
Okay.
Can I look around here and try and guess whether it was dwarf, maybe halfling, or even a goblin made?
Sure. Give me an inspection or a investigation. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could quickly just kind of survey the walls and look around, because I mean, this is pretty easy for you to get to figure out, right? I mean, you're small enough that you have a decent bit of room to kind of like put your hands on your hips, like, You look behind you, the humans are just sitting there like hunched over, right? And you just kind of like, narrow walls, not very tall, no stabilization on it. Yep, this was done by humans.
Rude.
I will quickly announce that as well.
Just, I believe this was done by humans. Literally the human and two tieflings behind you are just like, really, mother, you're gonna bring this up now?
What are you gonna do? Stand up to me?
That's pretty good, actually. I imagine that at this point, like, Fergal is probably like maybe second behind the goblin, with just this massive shit-eating grin of like, hope you guys are comfortable.
It just ekes down the hallway.
Right. Okay,
Carl
so
could not be further from comfortable.
yeah, right. I mean, your hair is all nice and clean. Now it's gonna get all like super dirty. And it's just like, all that work.
She could tie it up in a bun and put it like a skull cap on.
I feel like, give another few sessions, and Ka is gonna be so far from what you first made her as. Just couldn't be further from the creation point. All right, so you guys begin heading down the tunnel, which again is cramped and it's not pleasant. And as you guys get down tunnel, you get to the point of turning right, and immediately see that it opens up to a much larger room. That is, it's still dimly lit, but there's a lot of dim light, so your eyes can readjust pretty easily and quickly survey what's in there. The room is like probably a 10 foot by 10 foot, so it's not terribly easy for you guys to get in there. But you can see the goblin is standing in front of what looks like a black, very solid looking altar. And this altar is in a triangular shape. It almost looks like a small, I don't know, maybe 4 foot tall obelisk, just triangular. And you can see that the two things that are facing, the 2 points that are facing you, because if you could imagine it, it's triangular this way. So the tip of the triangle is pointing toward you. And you can see that on one face of the triangle appears to be what looks like a very well etched in skull. Almost anatomically correct. And it's been chiseled into the point that it looks as if it's a real skull inset into the obelisk. And around this skull seems to be these small, like almost teardrop, like red teardrop shapes made out of enamel or something that have been inset as well. And they're all kind of circling around the skull. And then there's 2 more of these red like enamel points in the skull's eyes. On the other face of it, you actually see what looks like a... Give me 1 second. You see what looks like a skull. Again, an anatomical type skull in a small triangular alcove. And the skull looks as if it's just kind of sitting in the alcove facing outward. You can't really see what's on the other side of it. So it would be like a cube-shaped room, right? On the back wall, you could actually see that there's a giant black handprint on inside the wall here. And on each of the walls seems to be like several sconces kind of all around. And then underneath them seems to be like a bunch of half melted, mostly melted candles with what looks like small offerings kind of all over. The wall furthest away from you, it
Just
seems to
explain.
have an offering of different little vials in it, and you're not sure what these vials are.
Airplane bottles.
It looks like it almost looks like it could be perfume or something. Sure.
Could I look at the vials with me having a background in alchemy and herbalism to possibly identify the content?
You want to try and actually like open the vials?
I
They're
mean,
basically just corked shut. I can tell you guys that just by looking at this room, something feels off. You definitely might start a cold sweat.
Would I have read about places like this in my studies to become a wizard?
Give me a history check.
I like roll our religion as well.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll me a religion check.
I have a 0 in it, but let's see. Hey, okay.
While you guys are like surveying the room, it looks as if the goblin is trying to like grab on to the altar or whatever else and try to like climb up it to the top.
Can I try
Get him
and
off
hold
of
him
there.
back?
What's that?
Can I try and hold him back?
Yeah.
Are you gonna try to like go up and grab him or something? Sure.
Yep. Get down. Don't be activated then.
He's kind of like grabbing onto the altar, trying to like grab back onto it. Like, no, me do the thing. Herdy ladies say do the thing. I do the thing.
What thing?
What thing?
Could I inspect the altar to try and
I
find
just
out
let-
what the thing
Okay,
is?
let's go then.
Okay, one at a time. I heard you say something.
Yeah, I'd like to inspect the altar to see what the thing is that it could do. Like
Okay.
if I could figure that out.
What do you think it is? And I'll base your check on
Uh,
that.
something magical, but
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
I can,
Some sort of ritual.
All right, so I'm just gonna go down the list here. So I saw Fergal first. Fergal, what were you investigating again? Sorry, or was that from earlier? No, that was now. Okay. Fergal, what did you want that investigation roll for?
I think that was a while ago.
That was at
That was
242.
for the.
Oh, that was earlier. You're right. Okay, so Harpatkin, your history check, pretty good. So you have seen you've seen these symbols before. These are the symbols of Baal, Bane, and Mirkul. These are not good. These are some of the evilest of evil gods. This should not be here. These gods are hunted, and their worshippers are hunted, and their altars are destroyed. Normally, they would find these altars in like the middle of the woods or something far away from civilization, not here in the city. This is an altar to the dead three.
Does he tell
Folks,
the
I think that we may have a problem here.
Maurice, you instantly recognize that these are Bane, Baal, and Mirkul. They're the dead three. They are evil gods.
Oh. Paladin Info, we have a situation.